This is a cry for help. So anybody watching this video, please just share it. That's all I'm asking. It's just a cry for help. I don't know what else to do or where to turn to. I feel like I've seeked all my sources. I live in a privately owned apartment complex named Sedona Springs, who I believe is managed by Desmond Residential. On April 17th at approximately 7:30, I heard, me and my family, we heard 4 explosion sounds outside of our home, and at the time, my husband screamed at me to get our 9-month-old son repeatedly, as he appeared to be like already woken and shooken up and the closest to the window, where the truck had collided to the building. Then I looked outside and I observed that there was a 2019 Ford F-150, a gray with the Texas license plate. It had collided with my building and had appeared to be approximately 3 feet away from my window, which is right there, where my child was sleeping after securing my child outside. Over there in that area, I observed my husband trying to prevent the driver from putting the truck in reverse and leaving the scene, but more importantly, backing up and taking the whole front of the building with the truck, because the driver collided with the staircase, in which had collided on top of the truck. So by pulling it back, it would have just pulled the entire building, the entire front of the building, So he had to take the keys out the ignition and held them until the police arrived. The driver was trapped inside of the truck, but somehow was directed to climb to the back of the seat and get out of the back driver door, because this was a 4-door truck. The driver went into the apartment, and the police arrived approximately 30 minutes later. So the first citizen to have interaction with the police was my husband. They immediately assumed that he had done it, and then they proceeded to interrogate him. He asked, and they asked him for his identification, and he gave them the keys and complied with them. I'm just trying to recoup because I'm really in distraught. So he complied and he gave them the keys. They were trying to tell him what was actually happening after that. It's almost as if my husband shut down after that because he started to feel harassed, but surely they figured out what was going on, and they located the driver and identified the driver. About it after an hour of the police officers doing their interrogation, I went to speak with one of the officers to ask what was going on, and dangerous. Why, I was asking them what had happened. Why wasn't there any sobriety test? Because I was standing out there watching with my son. Why wasn't there any sobriety test done? I was told that there was no detection of anything wrong, and that this was a case of the truck having a malfunction, and that the truck had done this on its own. So when I tried to clarify what I was hearing, I basically understood the driver lost control of the truck because the truck accelerated by itself. And still, I do not understand that because the police left and the city inspector stayed and said that it just didn't look that way. And the damages are still remaining, obviously, with the truck, and the entire area where she had hit stayed that way with the truck there until approximately 2 p.m. that day on the 17th. So my family and I was told we can stay in the house because the city building inspector deemed that our apartment, which is this one, is the only one out of the 4, because nobody else lives here. We're the only ones who live here. Was the only one out of the 4 to be safe, to be inside but not outside. The post closest to our door, we're still stable and intact, so That's why it was deemed okay to stay there. Meanwhile, the driver received no penalty or citation. Oh my goodness. My husband and I were recording and taking pictures the entire time. Everyone in the apartment seemed to come to our location and videotape like what was going on, what was happening throughout the day. We have a lot of videos and everything, a lot of pictures. So this all lasted to about 7 p.m. that night when the contractor stopped working and threw all this stuff here and pulled this down with the truck on a rope. So you can imagine, and we were inside, my family. You can imagine how that looked, but yeah, I cannot sleep. There's caution tape from one end to the other end of my building. I'm blocking off my house, so to get out, I have to go up and over the caution tape. The entire staircase is right in front of my doorway, which is very dangerous and not the most delightful thing to look at. After what just happened, the drivers live 2 doors down, but upstairs, so right over there, and oh my goodness, they continue to drive every day. Well, it's not they, it's a woman, and she's not on the lease here, so her husband lives here, but they didn't receive anything, and tonight they scared the living crap out of us, which is why I wanted to make a video by pulling up right in front of our house in this truck. So me and my husband rushed to the window to look because that's just what we do now because we don't know what's going on. Anyways, yeah. It seemed like all the neighbors are being very concerned because various of them like come up and ask what's going on, if anything has happened, if my family's okay. The manager in the office and I had a conversation about the situation and what was going on. She was rude and was not able to tell me any information. She also made it clear to me that she was unable to tell me any information until after the investigation or the claim was completed. I then found out she had resigned. Well, after the investigation, they said there was no detection of anything, and so I don't know what that meant. Then later, a little update, they said they don't have insurance on the apartments. I pay for insurance here on my place, but that lady's not on the lease, so she's over here on a visa, and she does not have insurance here. That truck, was from a rental car enterprise, and I've called them. I have police tape that says do not cross, which is usually like a crime scene, so I'm living at a crime scene, and my family is here. We're always watching, like either on our doorbell, or we're always just trying to figure out what's going on. But more importantly, I don't know what to do because it's not just about the lawsuit. It's about my family being here and having to live like this. And I don't know if it's just because we're one of the 4 African American families that live here, but I don't need the money. I mean, I have a nice place where I live. I just don't like that my family has to sleep on the couch.